Today, I'm going to talk to you about the idea of making the most of this crisis, making the most of a challenging situation and turning it into an opportunity. How you, how I, how all of us can finish strong in terms of what opportunities present to us in this crisis situation. So, my question to get us started is, how have you made the most of this COVID-19 pandemic crisis so far? And or how is it that you could possibly make the most of it in the next half of the rest of this year? How we can make this work for you? That is the question for today. Let's get into this. My name's Tristan White. Welcome to the Think Big, Act Small video show. It's really nice to have you here. I believe the world needs more great places to work. I believe the way we can create more great places to work is for us leaders of service-based businesses to learn the skills, build the confidence, and be supported to become the very best leaders we can be. If that is you, if you are a leader of a team and you're here to learn some skills, build the confidence and be a bit more supported, have a place to go to, then welcome, you're in the right place. If you, like Jeffrey, if you are here live, please say hello in the comments. I would love to say hello. Jeffrey's here. Morning, Jeffrey. Nice to have you here. Jeffrey writes #replay, and that means he can't stay for the whole show today. He's going to come back and check out the replay another time. But if you are here, please say hello in the comments. I'd love to know you're here. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know what's happening with you on this Thursday morning. Now, this Think Big, Act Small video show is a short, sharp show. It happens between 8:45 a.m. and 9 a.m. every morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it really is to embrace the idea of thinking big and acting small. In my experience, us leaders have got so many thoughts, so many competing ideas, so many big ideas. Sometimes they feel overwhelming. And if we choose to act small and take the next obvious step or a obvious step, then sometimes we can absolutely make progress and make the most of those think big ideas. But when we don't act small, sometimes we can be a bit stuck and a bit overwhelmed. And that's what we talked about on Tuesday's show. We talked about the idea of a CFD, a crappy first draft. Crappy first draft is a way that we can just make a start on something and see how we can go from an idea, a bit of friction, a bit stuck, to making a bit of a start on some progress. Carmel is here. Good morning, Carmel. Really nice to have you with us. Carmel, on Tuesday, your suggestion for a CFD was to make a start on a newsletter that's been hanging around and something you need to get off your to-do list that you'd love to. And so my question for you, Carmel, is how did you go with your newsletter CFD? I don't expect you to have it all done, although you might have. I don't expect it all done, but have you made a start? And if not, could today be the day that you make that progress and do that CFD, crappy first draft? Please fill me in, Carmel. It'd be really nice to hear from you. All right. I want to get on to this idea of making most of a crisis. I did a presentation a couple of weeks ago about the idea of leading yourself first. It was to a group of professionals who were working through a topic. A really important topic is there's no health without mental health. And I want to dig deep into this because there were about half the room that answered a poll that said, I'm neither flying, I'm neither making really great purposeful progress, or I'm really not floundering here. I'm sort of somewhere in the middle. Maybe languishing is the word that we use to describe that. And based upon that, it made me think, this COVID pandemic and COVID crisis has been going on for a very long time. Surely we're in at least the third quarter. Perhaps we're getting towards the end of the second half of this pandemic and crisis so far. But whatever the case, I wanted to suggest to you that Winston Churchill was famous for this very quote. I'm going to try and share my screen with you here so I can get this right. And that is, never let a good crisis go to waste, is what Winston Churchill said to us. And so with that in mind, I want to suggest to you is, how have you made the most of this crisis yet? And if you haven't, it's okay. There's still time. But I want to encourage you to make the most of the 2020-2021 period that we've been in, which has been a reset, a stop us in our tracks, a real challenging time for many of us, me included. But how can we think big? Yes, there's a crisis. Act small. Make the most of it and feel proud. Feel proud that when we come out the other side of this, we don't know when the other side's going to be here for some of us. I'm in Victoria, New South Wales in Australia, also in significant lockdowns, both Victoria and New South Wales. Other parts of the country and other parts of the world are in various versions of where we're up to with this pandemic. But just like Winston Churchill reminded us, never let a good crisis go to waste. And if that's the case, then what's the opportunity for you? What's the opportunity for me to make the most of the last part of this pandemic that we're hoping will be well and truly behind us in the main, the most part, by the time we get to Christmas and we get past 2021. 2020 and 2021 has happened or close to, but what are we going to do to make sure we feel proud? We can look back and say, you know what, there were some really tough times, but I did this, I made the most of it, and I made some progress during the pandemic. So that's my question for today: is how can we find our way from the messy middle or to the opportunity to really make some progress? Now, I'm going to share a story with you in just a tick as to how I'm doing my best of dragging myself out of the struggles of some days of man, is this still going on? That's definitely how I feel at times. But what I'm doing my best to make some progress on. But first things first, let me check these comments. I can see that that there's a few comments over here. CFD. So Jeffrey writes that from his CFD, his crappy first draft that he started working on since Tuesday, is building video into client communication. Excellent. Jeffrey, I'm impressed by that. Video is such a great way, like I'm doing right now, a great way to connect personally. People see the whites of your eyes. They see, help you smile. If there's a worry, they can see your worry. But there's a real P2P, person-to-person connection from videos. Really impressive stuff. And Carmel writes, now on the maybe other end of the spectrum here, struggling to get out of the firefighting this week, but have a CFD and a C2D. I would love to do it today, but another fire to fight. I'm not sure what the C2D is, Carmel, but feel free to explain it to me. But you have a CFD. Oh, maybe it's a crappy second draft. Sorry, now I get it. I should have picked that up. I'm sorry. CFD and C2D or C is crappy second draft. Thank you for explaining. Well done, Carmel. I'm impressed by that. You know I've got a pause button here. I'm going to press it. The reactiveness, that's an applause for you, Carmel. The reactiveness of what happens, it happens, but how we choose to respond is really important. And Carmel, I'm proud of you for making progress, but I'm also encouraging you to keep going and deal with the fires, and then keep progressing on the CFD to the C2D to the C3D. I'll be very, very pleased to have that, to see that, I should say. Carmel also writes, when we get there, I'll be proud to have kept the team together and supported all our clients along the way. That is the end of this pandemic, by the sounds of things, Carmel. That is an excellent thing to be proud of. Well done. And I encourage you, with this topic today is about what is it specifically that you learned, improved, or specifically did during this pandemic that achieves that outcome of keeping your clients and team together. But what is it you look back and say, that is the specific thing that I made progress on or embraced during this challenging pandemic time? That's the topic I wanted to share with you today. So let's push on. And the story I want to share with you is the thing I got thinking about this myself. And some of you will remember that I wrote this blog post just a few months back now. It's actually a little while, and it's this blog post here at tristanwhite.com.au, and it was titled "A Leader's Approach to a Strong Body and Mind." And it was a pretty vulnerable share for me about the bust and boom and bust again and boom again of my personal health, and how I've done some good progress on my health, but some real challenges, and I've sort of been ups and downs and haven't been sustainably strong and consistent in my health for a very long time. And I thought that'd be the story that I was going to share with you today about what I've been focusing on, because my health has been something that I have made some progress on during this pandemic. But it became obvious to me as I reflected on that there's something else I've been doing. It's this. During the pandemic of 2020 and 2021, I've been focused on getting better at communicating, at connecting with you, at helping service-based entrepreneurs and leaders to get better at building these skills, confidence, and being supported to be the best leader they can be and ultimately create more great places to work, but specifically live stream video. And in the last year and a half, since March of 2020, I did 130 odd episodes of a Time Out Live Daily Huddle that was happening for most of 2020. I've done the Think Big, Act Small in August series, which happened last month, another 22 episodes there. Here we are continuing into September. I must be in the vicinity of 150 to 200 episodes and videos that I've been creating. And I started in March 2020 by using the webcam on my computer. The Facebook Live was the only place that the videos went to. I was scared, I was stressed, I wasn't sure what I was going to say. It was very, very rigid and very, very stiff. And after all this time, I've got a long way to go still, but I've learnt a new camera is up here. I've got a microphone, I've got some lights, I'm presenting, I'm more comfortable, I can engage with the comments, I can help people in a more authentic and valuable way by getting stuck into it during this pandemic and during this time of challenge. And I can only do it because I'm at home. I used to travel so much, but I'm at home a hell of a lot more than I used to be. And so I reckon that if I reflect on 2020 and 2021 sometime in the future, it'll be the time when I learnt the skills to better connect via video, to understand how it fits together, the buttons that I press down here to be able to press that applause button, all that sort of stuff is really, really important. So that is the thing that I've learnt, and I reckon I can feel proud of once this pandemic is finished. Now, I don't know when this pandemic is going to be past us. There's an idea called the Stockdale paradox, and that is, I'm confident this thing's going to pass, but I don't know when. And in the meantime, I'm going to make the most of it. And so that is the topic for today. I want to ask you, what have you done so far to make the most of this pandemic? And if you're feeling like you're languishing, you're in the middle, it's okay. Please go easy on yourself. Be kind to yourself. No one needs, you don't need another critic. I don't need another critic. It all happens between my ears here is where the major criticism comes from. I suspect the same as you. But here we go. What can you do today, this week, this month to make the most of the 2020-2021 period that you can look back on with a smile and with pride once this period does finish? And it doesn't have to be the 150 plus episodes that I've been doing for all this time. It can be something teeny tiny. You can improve your diet. You can improve your exercise. You could write that 2-page blog post or ebook or something that was on your mind. You could vulnerably have that difficult conversation with a team member, which breaks the cycle of a toxic's probably not the right word here, but maybe you've got this friction in a relationship, whether it's at work or at home. Maybe you can have that conversation in a brave way, and then you can look back on the situation and say, that is the relationship that I made progress on and I improved or I moved on from during that 2020-2021 period. There's so many things you can do. It could be plant a tree. It could be at work, at home. It doesn't matter what it is. I want to encourage you to think big, act small, and make the most of what is hopefully the third quarter or the last quarter of this pandemic period is what's on my mind for today that I wanted to share with you. And so let me check the comments here. Is that Kamal says, having the check-ins with you have been invaluable. You're doing a great job. Well, Kamal, that's very kind of you to say, and I know you've been here lots of times. I'm pleased that I've been able to help and support you. And by the same token, you being here and commenting and enabling me to press the button that gets your comment on the screen helps me to practice and get better at this as well, which is really valuable for me as well. So it works both ways. That is for sure. And so where I am, it's 8:59 a.m., which means we're almost at the end of this Think Big, Act Small video show. My name's Tristan White. I do believe the world needs more great places to work. I believe the way we can build these great places to work is to help leaders become more confident, have more skills, and be supported to become the very best leader they can be. The Think Big, Act Small idea for today is, how can you be proud of yourself and look back on the 2020-2021 period of this pandemic and be proud of what you achieved, whether it's something small or something much bigger, much bigger. There's still time wherever you are. Think big, act small on this today. Consider a CFD, a crappy first draft, as to what your next step will be, and make progress, because for me, I reckon we need to be kind to ourselves, but I reckon we need to find just a little bit of internal energy or internal purpose to move towards something just a little bit better. So for today, that's it. Thanks for being here. My name is Tristan White. I'll see you same time, same place, 8:45 a.m. to 9 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. If you're interested in my next level leadership guide, please click on the link that's in the post or the caption with this. Tristan.guide. Tristan.guide will also get you there. Click there. And last thing, I hope to see you here. If you want to check out the replays, Tristan.live is the website to go to. You'll find my YouTube page and you'll find them all there. For the time being, have a great day, have a great weekend. See you next week. Bye.